Hello vegan adventurers, welcome to another exciting vlog. So today we are leaving Ushuaia and traveling to Calafate. So we got an early plane, so we had to take a taxi because there is no Uber in Ushuaia. And we got a nice sunrise, so with a nice view of the mountains. So here we are having breakfast of grapes and some juice. So we always try to bring whole foods vegan even if we are traveling, because our health is our priority. And many people care too much what other people gonna think of them when they bring the cooked food or grapes and eat it at the airport. But I don't care what other people gonna think of me. My health is a priority.
1878 to our final destination, Calafate.
Alright, we're in the sky, leaving Ushuaia and heading towards Calafate. So what are my impressions of Ushuaia and would I recommend it to other people? So I already did a review of Ushuaia in my previous video, so if you want more in-depth information and recommendation on whether to come to Ushuaia or not, check out that video. But I just want to briefly say that although I was expecting Ushuaia to be this hiking paradise, which was not the case, there are only 2 hiking trails coming from Ushuaia, and all the other trails are quite a distance from Ushuaia. But I will definitely come back here again to do those long distance hikes that we saw on the map, but this time we didn't have a proper equipment for camping in the cold weather. And even though there are not many hiking trails here, if you're really adventurous, you can find your own way with the help of GPS. And especially if you're a good climber, you can scramble up to most of these hills. Here we got a good view of the Beagle Channel that's separating Chilean Isla Navarino on the left and Argentinian Tierra del Fuego on the right. And here you can still see Ushuaia in the distance on the right, and also Tierra del Fuego National Park with Chilean snowy peaks behind it. And we actually been to Isla Navarino before on the left, and it's one of the most amazing hikes we did in South America. So make sure you check out those videos from Puerto Williams, Isla Navarino. And here you can see interesting phenomenon, the shadow of the airplane on the clouds. So I've seen this phenomenon before when I was hiking above the clouds in the mountains, and you can actually see your shadow on the clouds below you. It's really interesting. And here we are flying over Lago Fagnano, a really long lake here in Tierra del Fuego. And if you're really adventurous, you can find your own path from Ushuaia and connect to this lake over the mountains. So after that lake we didn't have any more view of the landscape, and we were flying above the clouds for another half an hour maybe, and then we got this view of that looks something like a desert. So I didn't know that this part of Patagonia is so dry and there is no trees. So it literally looks like a Mars, and that's how it's gonna be all around Calafate pretty much. It will be just grasslands that are called stepas. And here in the distance you can see some snowy peaks of southern Patagonian icefield. and it's probably a Chilean side. So I was wondering why there are no trees or greenery here, and I have two possible explanations. So one could be that it doesn't rain much here, and all these lakes and water that you can see here is just remains from the glacier. And another explanation would be that the soil is really bad, like too acid for any bigger plants to grow. So let me know down below what you think. Why is this such a dry area without any trees? So looking down at this environment, I already knew that I would not like to spend here a long time, because I just like the presence of trees a lot, and I don't like deserted areas. And we came here mainly for hiking the Fitzroy, which is maybe around 3 hours from here, and also to see the glacier Perito Moreno, which is maybe 1.5 hours from here.
Nuevamente a bordo. Buenos días y muchas gracias por volar con nosotros.
So here is what they're promoting to tourists as a taste of Argentinian culture. So they have a lamp, tango, market, some folklore music, Patagonian wine, and more meat. So it seems like a culture of cancer and cruelty to me. Alright, so we're here at our Airbnb accommodation in Calafate. It was quite far from the center, around 2 kilometers, and quite expensive as well, around $50 a night, which is quite a lot for a simple small flat like this. But this was one of the cheapest options here. So accommodation in Calafate is really expensive. So as we arrived in the morning, we had some time left in the afternoon to walk around and explore Calafate. So here we are walking on this promenade that's going next to Lago Argentino, which is actually the biggest lake in Argentina, and is stretching all the way to the glacier Perito Moreno. And on the way we saw some workout machines, so every time I see these machines I do some spontaneous workout, some dips, pull-ups, push-ups, things like that. So as we were walking by the lake, we saw something really strange, a barbed wire fence going through the lake. So they take the private property so seriously here that they put the fence even by the lake to mark the property, even if they know that the lake is gonna be flooded or things like that. So it's just really fucked up, and I don't know why they're doing it. It's just insane. We thought we found some new path over this bridge, but it only led to some field with horses. So there are not many paths around Calafate for hiking and stuff. So now we get to another area surrounded with a barbed wire fence, and I'm looking on maps.me. There used to be some lagoons here and a paths around, but now it's all flooded. So there used to be probably a business here, because I see there were some viewpoints to observe flamingos. So I'm thinking that you have to even pay here, because there is the fence, which is a norm in South America. You have to pay to see nature everywhere. As we were walking more, we smell the sewage, and I think they're releasing all the sewage from toilet right into this bird reservation. So it's really bad, and there's also lots of trash, which is not unusual in Argentina. So here we got to the entrance of the lagoons and of the area, and we actually were thinking to go there if it costs like $2-3 per person. But when we asked the woman at the counter, she said it's 200 pesos per person, which is like $10. So it's really overpriced for some flooded area with that you might see the birds in, and plus 50 more pesos if you want binoculars. So it's a really bad situation here in South America in general, that they're charging pretty much for everything. Like especially the nature should be for free for people to see, and here they just make a business out of it. So I'm really angry about it. I expressed it in my previous videos. So I think what it comes down to is that they have nothing else to offer to tourists other than nature. That's what everybody comes here for, to see, you know, Patagonia and to hike volcanoes and stuff, and that's why they're charging pretty much for everything to get any money they can. And actually the Argentinian economy is really bad. They have a big inflation, and the services are not that great, but they're charging so much money for everything. So I think that the path goes around here, the lagoon, and then on the other side on that land bridge, and there maybe you could see some birds, but I don't see anything on my phone here. So I think it's just a big rip-off from tourists who come to see the glacier here. So I imagine if we paid and go to see this reserved or whatever they call it, I think we would be really pissed, because this spot is maybe 20 meters from where I'm standing right now, and would pretty much see the same thing. So I don't think how people are so gullible and pay for this shit. So after finishing with the path along the lake, we decided to go more around Calafate with this field road, and here pretty much no tourists usually go, and this is where they just chuck the trash. So This is what tourists don't see, who just take a taxi to the glacier. You know, no tourists are usually going here. They just spend time in a restaurant or get drunk in a bar. But yeah, this is where the real culture shows, you know, when you go outside a city where no tourists are. So it's such a contradiction when both Chile and Argentina pretend to be these first world countries, and yeah, the prices are the same like first world countries, but the services and the treatment of environment and the culture is more like a third world country, you know, where people just don't care about anything. They just chuck the trash wherever it goes, and this is exactly what we see here in Argentina and also Chile.
What if it's me looking down on me? The world above must also be. This could go on for infinity. Color coded just to keep me sane. My world is finally starting to take shape. I press the button.
So down here is where the river is flowing, and there's lots of trees and greenery around there. So that makes me think the reason why all the other environment looks like a desert is because it just doesn't rain here much and the trees don't have a water to grow.
Just sit back and relax, don't worry. The world can wait. No need to hurry.
Alright, so we're back at the apartment and got to see this amazing sunset over Lago Argentino. And I didn't record the town center because there was nothing special to see, only the shops and restaurants. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this vlog of flying from Ushuaia and exploring Calafate on our first day. And stay tuned for more videos from Calafate, especially the exciting Perito Moreno Glacier, which is gonna be amazing. And for now, stay healthy and stay adventurous.